Do you hear that, Mr. Anderson? That is the sound of inevitability. In this case, we're talking about on the Shoegazer channel, and I need to do a video about fuzz at some point, don't I, really? Well, we're going to have a look today at how to stack fuzz, all my different fuzzes. I'm going to have a little sound test of them all. We're going to look at some of the nice combinations that I use, that I like to use, and some that have been time tested. Classic. Reverb before the fuzz, reverb after the fuzz. I tend to prefer it afterwards. I've got more control over it. You've got to be really careful on the settings, but it can be done. It's kind of like, imagine, reverb is obviously the sound of being in a space. It's like the sound of air, ambience. And we're frying that ambience, we're frying that air. An air fryer, no, that's taken. Afterwards, it's like the fuzz creates the hair and the reverb perms it out. Here we're using the zoom. Real cult following in the Shoegazer community, especially the YouTuber Shoegaze community. You know who you are. By the way, all the gear is linked in the description, affiliate links, you know how it works. Give it a like and a subscribe while you're down there, for me. It's nice having you around, it really is. Used in a lot of different styles of music, especially modern metal actually. Putting a tube screamer before or after a Big Muff, because a Big Muff can get lost in the mix. This just tightens it up, and I especially like, we're using the Bad Monkey, which I believe is some sort of clone, but we'll use it as a tube screamer today, if you know what I'm talking about. Well done if you get the reference. Mode 3 on the plumes just tightens everything up, pushes it through the mix. It's taken all the frequencies, putting them together, and then just putting them into your ear like a warm kitten. But yeah, I like it before. Josh Scott likes it afterwards, I believe. And what does he know? He knows a lot. I love the guy. One of my favorite setups with fuzz, in this case very, very heavy fuzzy distortion. We're using an EQ pedal, and this can change the character of whichever fuzz or distortion you're putting into it completely. Taking out some frequencies, boosting some frequencies, can give us a drastically different fuzz pedal. So one fuzz pedal or distortion pedal can become many. This one's quite expensive. You can get a cheap Behringer one for like $20. It's always worth, this is a category of pedal where it's certainly worth having a few of them. too much in Shoegaze, but Octave Fuzz. Now, I'm cheating a bit. I'm putting an Octave pedal before a fuzz here. The Tentacle by EQD, Earthquaker Devices. It's one of those pedals where you turn it on and everything just sounds better. It might be a sound that you want to try. Let me know how it goes for you. Now, I got this from Graham Coxon. I like reverb before a fuzz. Yes, we all do. But, you know, I usually like it afterwards. But delay before fuzz, very, very nice. I'm sure he's doing something like that on Beetlebum, you know. A nice, simple digital delay before fuzz. And I like to use this in pretty much every video I do, the afterneath. A beautiful reverb delay. Cavernous reverb. Like being a wizard in a cave. Afterwards, to round it off, you've got a lot of different elements here, all getting bounced around and shredded into the fuzz, back and forward, forever. Listen to the noise it makes. Right before a fuzz, in this case before the Acapulco Gold. Instant Sono vibes, but I'm putting some reverse reverb afterwards here. Just reverse from the HX Stomp, the non-linear reverb, kind of a pseudo reverse reverb. Well, everything is kind of pseudo reverse reverb. It goes against the laws of physics, doesn't it? Because entropy. Massive, massive soundscapes await you if you dare walk across them. Almost forgot, I'm just editing. Fuzz going into wah is actually something that I use quite often. Jay Mascis from Dinosaur Jr. uses this. Sonic Youth, I suspect, use it quite a lot. So more sort of shoegaze adjacent stuff, but it makes for a really great lead sound. And I was thinking, oh well, I didn't record anything for the video, but I recorded a little solo like a few months ago and I haven't released it yet. And it's basically this sound that I want to talk about. So check this out, and it's a sound that you might like. One of my favorites of all time. I bought this in 1999, I believe. It's fallen apart. It only runs on batteries now, held together by tape, of course. Parcel tape. Why would you use any other tape than parcel tape? Big Muff. People say you can get lost in a mix. Sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes you just want an underlayer of fuzz. You don't always have to be up front. Sometimes guitar tones by themselves might sound horrible, but once they're in the mix, and people don't understand this, it's good to get an understanding of this. Sound beautiful in a mix, just underlying. Gives me the frequencies I want. Mid-scooped, yeah. As we say, you can add something, you can add a tube screamer if you want to bring that back. modern classic. I've done videos on this. I'll link them in the description. Super Fuzz, based on the Boss Hyper Fuzz, which is like 300 quid. This is 20 quid, $25 reduce. One of Sweetwater's best selling by orders of magnitude pedals of all time. And there's a good reason for that. And it has a super secret mode that we'll never talk about, apart from every time we talk about this. Now this is super gnarly aggressive. It's good for shoegaze, I think. It's used a lot in doom metal. Electric Wizard based their sound on this style of pedal. This is actually, every time I use this Cuvave fuzz, it's kind of like a fuzz face that wants to destroy you. Wild. Absolutely wild, but playful. Real silicon. It's like it comes into the house and it's like, hey, I'm silicon. I'm a silicon fuzz. What are you going to do about it? Take anything you want. Proper naughty. A naughty little fuzz. I've got one of these for you. Zvex Woolly Mammoth, very good on bass. Massive bass in this pedal. When you play guitar through it, just gets that bottom end thickened up. It's like this is also, I think it's like a heavily modded, it's like a real fuzz face, but with massive bottom end, fuzz bottom. But it's got that wool of a Big Muff at the same time. Tasty, thick. Hello Kitty Fuzz, a meme of a fuzz pedal. Kind of classic, but a lot of classic pedals are pretty wild. A lot of classic fuzz pedals are really wild. Wild like the cat. Hello Kitty isn't really a cat though. She's a girl that dresses as a cat, I believe. This has a lovely classic snarl to it. Dr. J Planeswalker. Very, very hard to say. Not very hard to use. Not the most diverse pedal. It does have a germanium mode and a silicon mode. You basically need to turn the entire thing up to make it usable, I think. Because it's very mellow. Usable. Not very versatile, but very mellow. It's got its own kind of sound. It's pretty unique. Really easy going. I like a bit more of a snarl, but this is like toffee in your ear, but in a good way. The Honeypot Fuzz is a it's like a green Russian muff. A lot of people tend to think that this has a better sort of EQ pattern. It doesn't lose the mids as much. It can push through a mix a lot better. You don't particularly have to add another green pedal. It's already green. TC Electronic make a beautifully cheap pedal. This is a budget version of it, which is already a kind of affordable pedal. You should have this pedal. You really should. It doesn't cost too much. What is it, like $40? I don't know. $50 maybe? Used, not very much at all. Pick one up, the Honeypot Fuzz. Hey, let's have a listen to it, eh? The Fuzz Factory. You know, this is a budget pedal. You might be thinking, no, it's not. Well, people buy this. This is a fat Fuzz Factory, so it does different octaves as well. People buy this, then they don't know how it works. They think it's broken. Then they put it on the used market thinking no one will be able to. I got this very cheap. I got this like $90, which I thought was pretty good. Now, this has a lot of terrible sounds in it. Terrible sounds in it. You get it wrong a tiny bit, it'll get up and smack you around the face. Playful transistors. You don't know what they're going to do. You've got to get the guide to this. There's a guide on Reddit. If you type in Fuzz Factory settings, someone's listed them. Don't think I'm just going to pick this up and fiddle around with it. You need a map for this. You've been warned. Carcosa Fuzz, I think, is kind of like, I believe it's based on a Maestro Fuzz, but it gets into Muff territory, but it's got that sputtering brilliance of a tone bender. Really lovely and compressed sounds coming from this. This has been called by a lot of people one of the most versatile modern fuzz pedals. A modern classic, certainly, by DOD, great company. They make some great pedals. I love everything they've done. Maybe not the Buzz Box. Let's have a chew. The Acapulco Gold by EQD, based on a Sun amp. More of a wild distortion. It's the only one of these pedals that I'm classing as a fuzz that probably isn't a fuzz, but really gets into the territory. You can blow your amp this. Listen to it and tell me it's not a fuzz, alright? Don't really, because I know it's not a fuzz. Thanks so much to the Patreons. If you would like to be a Patreon, it's a really good way of supporting the channel, but your likes and subscribes, comments are definitely good enough. If you got to this point in the video, you might as well subscribe, I think. I've linked a playlist of lots of different shoegaze setups right here. Check out one of these other videos. Google thinks you'd like them.